what's up, US? What you guys doing today? Hope you're all well, relaxing, getting ready for the weekend. Oh, check out the weather out here by us. I think we're going to have some rain shortly. Maybe a thunderstorm or two. Following on from my previous video on bullying, I know I said previously that I'm going to do a series on the labor law, but there's some legal implications to that, so I decided that what I'm rather going to focus on, I will speak about it if you guys ask, if there's any questions that you have or anything that you want to know. I can give advice, but there has to be a disclaimer. If you have an issue at work or with your employee, it is always best to go and seek legal advice from a qualified labor attorney. Okay, try and avoid going to a normal lawyer, general attorney. Go to somebody that's qualified and that knows labor law. We've had some cases where general attorneys try and get involved and try and bully and push employers around, but the employer just turns around and say, hey, listen, the guy's got to follow the channels, got to go to CCMA, got to exhaust all the internal processes and procedures before any form of attorney gets involved. But anyway, going back to the whole bullying story. If you are bullied, you'll need to go and watch my video on bullying, and then you'll know what I'm talking about. But if you've been bullied at work, psychological bullying and stuff, there's only so much I can take. And once you've exhausted all the internal processes, and if the person continues with the nonsense and they don't want to stop, you can always go the constructive dismissal route. Now I've got my piece of paper because I've made some notes and stuff because I want to try and be as accurate as possible, and try and give you guys decent information, because the labor law is quite vast, and to try and remember everything is anyway. If you go to your lawyer's office, you'll see he's got bookshelves of law and stuff, so they also look at their books and stuff. But anyway, that's bizarre. Constructive dismissal is the way to go if you find yourself in a situation where you've exhausted all the internal procedures, this person continues with his bullying and stuff, and you can't take it anymore, and what you need to do now is you hand in your resignation and you go to the CCMA and open up a case of constructive dismissal. Now, the problem with that is, there is a problem. And the problem is that you, as the employee, have to prove that the situation was so bad at the workplace that you were forced to resign after you had exhausted all your internal processes. That the employer made the working relationship so intolerable that there was no other choice for you other than to hand in your resignation. Now, Section 1861E of the Labor Relations Act says, constructive dismissal means that an employee terminated a contract of employment because the employer made continued employment intolerable. There are a couple of things that you as the employee have to prove when you go to the CCMA hearing. Okay, firstly, you got to prove that the employment relationship was terminated. That's pretty easy because you handed in your resignation, so that's easy to prove. The second point is that you've got to prove that your working conditions were so bad that you couldn't carry on working. The guy's continuously bullying you. Now, this is where you would need to get evidence of this. Okay, some of the things that I've suggested to people to do is to start recording everything that happens. Record every meeting that you go to with this person. Record the situation. Make notes, dates, times, what was said. Be accurate. Okay, don't bullshit. Be accurate with your notes and with your minutes. It actually might even be good to record. I mean, nowadays the smartphones, all the smartphones have these recording devices on them. Record your meetings, record what this guy says, or this person or woman or whatever says. You can record it. You're entitled to do that, okay? So that you can have, accurate, so you can have your evidence that the situation was happening. Then, the third thing would be that the employer's conduct made the working conditions intolerable. For example, the boss slaps you around in the face. I mean, that's clearly, you can't carry on working in that situation. But, that's a clear violation. But like I was saying, it's difficult to prove the whole psychological bullying thing. That's why you, as the employee, need to become like a private investigator. You start recording everything. You record, this guy's coming to the office, you're going into a meeting with him, you record that meeting. You just put your phone in your pocket, put it on record. There's lots of apps that you can download from the iStore or the Android store that you can record these things secretly. So you record these things. You start building up your evidence against this guy, okay, or this person, guy, woman, whatever. You start recording the evidence. You start making note of the people that were maybe around when the event happened. Write down the dates, write down the times, so that when you get, because it will continue. If you reach the point where you can't just work there anymore, don't just hand in your resignation. Make sure that you've got the evidence to back it up, because you are going to have to prove this at CCMA, that you were in that situation where you couldn't work there any longer. So start gathering the evidence. That's the biggest thing. Once you've got that evidence, and then hand in your resignation and go straight to the CCMA and open up the case of constructive dismissal. And then take that, if you are using a recording device, okay, or you're using your phone to record the things, take that then and go sit home and write all of that stuff out. You need to actually physically minute that stuff, so you got something to give to the CCMA commissioner. Say, on such and such a date, this and this happened, and this, I didn't do that, or whatever it is. So when it comes to workplace bullying, that is one of the options that you can do, but it must be your last option. Don't take that as your first option. You need to exhaust all internal channels or processes. If you can't go any higher than what you have, to report the bullying and stuff, and if nothing happens about it, you are protected by the Labor Relations Act, and you're protected by the BCA Act. You as an employee don't have to take or tolerate this nonsense. Okay? You have rights. I've even heard of a case where someone's actually put a restraining order against somebody. You can also do that as well. But in all situations, guys, you've got to go and seek further legal advice, because every situation is different. But don't go to a general attorney. He's not going to give you, kudos to those guys. I mean, those general guys, they're fantastic. I'm not downing anybody. But my personal opinion is, go to a labor lawyer. Go to somebody that works with the labor law. That's what they specialize in. There are guys out there that are affordable that can help you. Don't go to a normal general attorney. He's not going to be able to help you 100%. There's lots of guys out there that can give you the correct advice, but like I said, every situation is unique. To your circumstances will be unique to you. The circumstances of somebody else will be unique to them. But the biggest thing, like I've been stressing, is that you must start gathering the evidence. That is very important for you to be able to win your case at CCMA. You need to present the evidence, because the onus is going to be on you. The onus is going to be on you to prove that your working situation was intolerable. There was a case where the guy resigned because the employer told him to off, and so he resigned. He went to CCMA and stayed at constructive dismissal. He actually lost the case because I can't remember now, but he lost the case because the commissioner said, because the employer told you to peep off, the employer actually terminated your relationship. You did not terminate your relationship. That's why you lost the case. So be careful, but make sure you gather the evidence. The evidence in constructive dismissal is very important because, like I said, and I can't stress it more, you are going to have to prove that. And if you win your case, okay, you could get up to 24 months compensation, which means they're going to have to pay out 24 months salary to you. Up to. Depends on the situation, depends on the commissioner. That's not a guaranteed total, but I'm saying you could get up to that. There's things flying around here. What the hell? Whatever. So guys, that's my answer to bullying. I've decided that I'm not really going to carry on with this series because there are legal implications for me. I didn't realize. But I'm happy to give advice. If you guys want to ask me something, or you're stuck in a situation at work that you're not happy, or you've been dismissed and you feel you've been unfairly dismissed, you're welcome to drop me a comment or send me an email or whatever, and I can give you some advice and try and help you out of your predicament. But my disclaimer is, this is my opinion, okay? I'm not a labor attorney, but for me it's a hobby, and I've done consulting work in this labor stuff. So kudos to me. I pat myself on the head. I've got my certificates and my diplomas and all that nonsense. So I'm happy to help free of charge, not a problem. But what I do say is, if I give you advice, guys, don't just take it at face value. Go and seek further legal advice from a labor lawyer. Okay? From a labor lawyer. You know what I'm saying? And then if it matches what I've been saying, then go for it. Guys, thanks for watching. And thanks for all the guys that have subscribed to my channel. I really appreciate it. It's fantastic having you guys on board with me and to walk this journey with me. And what's gonna be coming up soon is, if I stretch this thing out, you will see something. I have picked up so much weight. Check this fat man out. Okay? But you know what? I don't really care what people think about me. But I've now joined, or am joining, a gym. I'm going to do a series on this weight loss thing because I need to lose this weight desperately. So I'm gonna be doing this. I'm gonna have you guys come along with me if you want to. I haven't worked out the nitty-gritty of the things yet, what I'm actually going to do, but I've basically sent in my application to a personal trainer, and I'm going to try and get rid of this fat and try and get myself back into shape. And you're welcome to come along with a ride for me. Maybe you guys can learn something. And if you want to also, maybe I put out a challenge there that, you know, if you are finding yourself to be a little bit overweight, why don't you make a note down the bottom of this video, and let's get a challenge together, and let's see who can lose this weight the quickest. Yeah, let's see what happens. I'm quite excited about it. It's so easy to put on weight, but it's so damn difficult to get rid of it. But I'm prepared, and I'm going to be dedicated to this thing. I've got a couple of health issues that have rocked up because of this, my fatness. But I'm going to do it. I'm going to get rid of it, and I'm going to get myself into shape. I've got the guys that are going to be helping me because damn, I'm lazy. I admit it, I am lazy. I cannot exercise on my own. I need to know that I have to be there at a specific time, and I've got to do that. And I've asked the guys to put an eating plan together for me as well. I need to stop eating all these chips and chocolates and yes, all these crap things that are out there that taste so good, but are not good for the waistline. Anyway, guys, thanks a lot for watching. I hope that helps some of the guys that are being bullied or find themselves in a situation and they're not happy at work. Please, if you need advice on that, you're welcome to drop me a note. And I want to say to you guys, have a great weekend. Peace out.